There were two groups that did town unity as their topic for their project. I'm Kimmie Jolie.
I'm Jaydon Brown.
I'm Nate Landolt.
I'm Erin Hunter.
So we're town unity.
So what is unity? It's coming as one, or being in state of being united or joined as a whole. What does this mean for Evanston? Do we have unity? And you guys can figure it out for yourself when we present facts.
Alright, so kind of like the other group, we kind of dug into some of the same issues. So we're just gonna put into perspective like the racial segregation in Evanston with some of these statistics and how they correlate to like socioeconomic disparities, like how race like goes into that. So 46% of Evanston's black population lives in the 4 west tracts of Evanston, and the tract is like a geographical region that is made for like census pooling and taking census. We got this from the 2010 Census Bureau. So, yeah. And then this is also a racial dot map that you saw with the other group. And so like the blue is like white families, and then green is black, and then red is Asian, yellow is Hispanic, and then purple is other races. So like again, this kind of shows the racial segregation between groups of people within Evanston.
So this is from 2013, and it shows the segregation through the incomes. So it also correlates to the racial segregation from the dot map. And this one's from 2015, and it has the same trend as the other one, but it also shows some improvement because it's a little more spread out.
So the issue that we were trying to tackle through our project was overall unity that we saw in Evanston, and then also try to solve the disconnection between people of different groups. We initially noticed that there wasn't much community togetherness, as we initially called it, in our beginning phases of brainstorming, and we wanted to do a project that focused on the problems that we saw.
And brainstorming. So we did a lot of brainstorming for our project, and at first, I guess our first thought was to do a big community event to reach the greatest amount of people we can. But after exploring the technicalities of all that, we thought we should use social media because everyone's on social media, and we felt like we could reach the greatest amount of people because an event's success depends on the attendance. So yeah.
And also, we thought an event would be really big, and it would be a really big project. We kind of wanted to make something small and kind of focus on something small and make it as good as we could.
So we partnered with Dear Evanston, Nina Caven, and Dear Evanston examines issues of race, inclusion, diversity, and equity. And these were issues that we wanted to focus on in our project. So after talking to Dear Evanston, we figured out we wanted to share stories of people.
So our project idea. So Dear Evanston, they're on Facebook, and they have a large adult following, and they tell stories of different people to encourage talk and discussion amongst Evanston residents. So we felt that Dear Evanston didn't exactly have the teenage element, so we decided to bring that. So we specifically created an Instagram because almost every teenager uses Instagram, and we also had this thing called Snap Code, which teenagers could scan with their phone, and it brought them directly to a Google form, which they could fill out a submission for their poetry or art or interview. So yeah.
So for our goal for our project, we wanted to have a successful social media that allowed students to be able to share their voices and get their stories out. And along with that, through our Instagram, we wanted to connect it back to Nina's Facebook so that adults could hear student voices, and then also just overall unifying. So what we accomplished, the top left is a flyer that we posted all around the school. We created that ourselves, and it has our snap code that Jaydon was talking about, where if you scan that with Snapchat, you're able to be sent directly to a link on your phone. that has a Google form where you could sign up to send in our submissions to us. Along with that, there's our Instagram page, and then the bottom is a picture of us during an interview with Olivia Nicholson. And with our Instagram, we have 1,305 impressions, which means people that have seen our posts. We have 557 unique people, so these are people that don't follow us but are able, or that did see what we were doing. 252 profile views, so that's people who looked us up and were able to see our Instagram. And then 8 website clicks, so you can see that we have a link in the bio, which is Nina's Facebook, and then 3 email clicks for people to get in contact with us. This is one of the photography submissions by Madison Stern. This was one of the things that we were able to post on our Instagram.
Next, we have a few of our interviews, a few clips. One of them's from Liana. She's over here somewhere.
Yeah, she was the other town unity group.
Yeah, and so we just like have a few like short clips. So you guys can play.
This is Olivia Nicholson.
Did I skip? You want me to go to that?
Yeah, you got it.
The volume working.
So basically in this interview, she basically talks about what it's like as a woman of color in theater, and she talks about how the stereotypes for women and
theater is
there we go.
written by men for men. So it's hard to be a woman in that aspect, because there's not a lot of confident roles. It's always like the love interest or something silly like that.
And then if you want to go back to Liana's, she talked about
confident roles. It's always like the
wait, that. Yeah, there you go. You double click on it.
Other students have told me, there were students of color that had actually dropped, that they felt like they had to prove themselves, and so there's this environment of like male dominance, and then also the aspect of being a student of color, like feeling that you constantly need to like prove yourself based on what you wear, how you talk, all these different things that you constantly have to change in order to fit. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I could relate to that also, because I'm like the only
Okay, so basically, Liana talked about her experiences in Chem Phys and like being a student of color, and like it's like kind of like it's an interesting class at ETHS where you can take chemistry and physics at the same time. It's kind of a quicker paced class, and she talks about her experience as a student of color in Chem Phys, among other things. And Olivia talks about her experience as a student of color in theater, and how theater has like race in theater has like internalized and like what she thinks she can accomplish and what she can do in theater. So she talks about that.
And these were both 2 examples of things that we did get to put on our Instagram, actually longer clips. And we're planning on sending the full interviews to Nina for the Facebook.
Yeah, so for the future of our Instagram, we have more people interested in submitting interviews and stories. So we plan to keep posting and expanding.
And we plan to also have our videos posted on Nina Caven's Facebook. Alright, so our victories with this project is we got the opportunity of working with an amazing partner, and we actually like found more people than we thought to like submit their work, and it was really amazing seeing people want to put their stuff out there to encourage discussion. And gaining followers was probably the craziest part, because we have like 200 something followers and it's still growing, and we're looking forward to continuing it. And also learning about the narrative of race in Evanston from ETHS students.
And then some of the struggles that we found, it was hard to approach this topic just because it is so broad, and it is one of the topics that we do find more of a stigma around, just because it can be an uncomfortable topic for some people. And then along with that, it was hard to get the word out about it, and initially getting people involved and trying to get people to submit to us.
Okay, so the impact that we wanted to have with our project, so we kind of wanted to like push some discussions of race and through people's narrative of race within Evanston, kind of like highlight some of the inequities that we saw in Evanston. So we hope that we like with that we like empower people to create change and like just educate themselves, so we can this can be like a unifying force within our community. And then the impact, and the impact on us. So like we said, we kind of learned more about the narrative of race in Evanston, like people's experiences with race in Evanston that we didn't necessarily know before. And we learned about like a lot of the problems that students at ETHS face in internships.
So for sustainability, we obviously want to continue our Instagram just because it is just kind of starting. And we also, like we said earlier, we plan on getting all of our submissions onto Nina's Facebook so that she is able to share it with the adult following she has. And then we also plan on being a high school resource for her and just kind of being her access to ETHS and being able to help her in that way.
Yeah, her youth group.
So for more information and if you want to get involved or submit any work, you can follow our Instagram, Facebook, or send us an email, and then we'll have a website or your service.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys should take out your phones right now and follow.
Facebook page. And then the website is under construction now, but it will be started in the upcoming future.
Yeah. So we'd just like to thank a lot of people, everyone that helped contribute to our project. About Anita Caveman, Ms. Hamilton, Ms. Blyton, Ms. Collins.
And especially our junior leaders as well. They were really helpful in our project and making everything possible.
Maggie Barrera and Laurent.